Hello everybody, my name is William and I'm here with
Matthew.
and this is episode 49 on Matthew and William podcast.
Yep, and today our topic for today is we're going to be talking about motivation and the types of motivation. So that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about today and kind of just breaking down the two different types of motivation.
Yeah, so before we start here, Matthew, the word motivation means a lot to me. But I think this is a very good topic to talk about because we need motivation. We need to be motivated.
Mm-hmm.
To make life itself. So the video we did, it was what, Matthew?
We recorded a beatbox video where we were doing a tribute to kids who are under the poverty line and who have to deal with that stuff. So
the reason why I brought that up is that we motivated people with that video we made.
I see what you did there. That's pretty good. Look at you making all sorts of connections today. First with the song in that video, and now this. So
yeah, I think overall that is a very good feeling inside. Once you inspire people, once you move people, it feels amazing once you have done that. But it also makes you feel good inside because you motivated other people as well.
Yeah, and that's a great point that you added on there with how it's related to that. But in today's video, there's two types of motivation. There's intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. And intrinsic motivation is pretty much like motivation to do something because it's like good or if it's like morally good or something like that you want to do. And extrinsic motivation is something like you're doing it for like a reward, for like a goal, like for a reward. So those are the two different types. And if we were to put the video we just did into one of those categories, I would say it's intrinsic motivation because we are doing it to spread awareness. We're doing it for the good, to spread awareness. We're not doing it for any sort of like
fame or anything.
Yeah, we're just doing it to spread awareness and for the So that's pretty much what motivation is, but getting motivation can sometimes be hard. Like I know, at least for me, getting motivation is something that's really hard, especially if it's something you don't want to do. But one thing I could say if you're not motivated to do something, just think about let's say you have like a project you need to work on. Let's say if you actually work on the project, you should be motivated for the end result, that it's finished, instead of waiting and then you still have to do it. If you just do it, then it's you don't have to worry about it anymore. So I just think that's really a motivator, at least for me, to keep me on top of things and just stop, not because procrastination is definitely a big issue for me, and I think that's a big motivator for me.
Yeah, but I think you hit the ballpark in that comment there. Even I add that for some people, it's harder for them to be motivated.
Mm-hmm.
But also you know inside that you have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of saying I don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But also that's not the right attitude to have. It's supposed to be positive about it, and even though you don't like doing that thing, you still have to do it, because some people don't even have anything. To make life, we have technology, we have food, we have housing, so we have nothing to complain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you hit it pretty well. It's just that, especially with motivation, motivation to like do something, especially another way to help with motivation, like seeing something. Like if you see something that you want,
Yeah.
like this is an example of like extrinsic, seeing something you want and being motivated to go out and do that, which like extrinsic motivation isn't all bad. Sometimes sometimes it can be good, like what I just said. Like let's say you like want good grades, like just working hard in school to get good grades. That's extrinsic, but it's not a bad thing. So it's just sometimes when people think of extrinsic motivation, they just think of it as a bad thing.
Yeah,
it's not always. Not always. It's not always. It's not always a bad thing. And same thing with intrinsic. Most people think of it as good, but it can also be bad in some ways. Like some people just do it for themselves, like and don't think about others. But it's just two different ways of looking at. Like each intrinsic and extrinsic, they both have their bads and goods. But I just think it's getting motivation is important.
Yeah. But I do have a question for you, Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
What if one word that pops in your mind when it comes to motivate people? Like, how do you feel when you motivate people?
I think it's like a good feeling when you're able to motivate somebody to do something. It really feels good because depending on the situation, like if you motivate someone to like take a risk for themselves and it ends up working off, then you will feel good about it. So it's just sometimes people need a little bit of extra help to, take like a risk and like apply for like a job or something like that they are scared to do.
Yeah.
And it's just can help people too.
How about the motivation aspect, Matthew, apply to a main channel? Matthew,
I think for our main channel, it's again like it's sort of like a mix between intrinsic and extrinsic. Like we make videos like because we want to entertain you guys. Like it's intrinsic, but it's also extrinsic too because that's our goal. Like we want to provide good content for you guys, and it's just when we get feedback from you saying you enjoy our content, that makes us feel good about like the content that we're creating because we don't want if we are creating like bad content, we want to know so we can change that. Like if we're creating bad content and no one says anything, then we just assume that it's fine and keep doing that. But if you have any suggestions or criticism, we're open to it. We just want to know how we're doing, really.
Yeah, and I think that is a perfect way to end this video on Matthew. But
my name is Matthew. I'm here with
William. We are signing off.